who has mentored a lot of young people and different courses. We have Mr. Olubafemi Alakofuja. Please clap for him. He's one of the young Nigerians.
They say votes no dey count, but every election they wan buy you. E mean say your vote matter. No let anybody bobo you say your voice no important.
If you never register, now na the time. Oya, waka go any INEC registration center wey dey near you, or make you go our ogbonge portal for cvr.inecnigeria.org.
Who get sense no dey buy am kerchief from boutique o. Shine your eye wella because na who get PVC fit vote. Registration dey close on Friday, 10th of July 2026. Oya o, make una go register sharp sharp.
This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Dem say vote no dey count, but every election they wan buy am. E mean say your vote matter. No let anybody bobo you say your voice no important.
If you never register, now na the time. Oya, waka go any INEC registration center wey dey near you, or make you go our ogbonge portal for cvr.inecnigeria.org.
Who get sense no dey buy am kerchief for boutique o. Shine your eye wella because na who get PVC fit vote. Registration.
Round of applause, please. You may sit. We call on one of the participants, any of the participants, to come here to lead us in prayers. Thank you very much. The program is a huge success by this simple act of communicating to our Creator. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a singular honor today to stand before you to be part of this program being organized by Renewed Hope Ambassadorship Youth and Women Network with the National Summit title Empowering Students Through PVC Sensitization and Continuous Voter Registration for Democratic Participation and National Development. The theme of today's national dialogue is Raising Leaders. Raising leaders today. Students are the heart of Nigeria's future and the Renewed Hope agenda. This team is put together to ensure that the younger population of Nigeria, which is the students, take part in the democratic process by being involved in the continual voter registration that is currently ongoing, organized by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, campus to campus registration, hostel to hostel registration, Nigerian students take full participation in 2027 general election. The organizers observed that some students got admission before 18, and the process in the last election were not able to participate. Some students, maybe from their family background at home, were not allowed to participate in the previous registration exercise. That is why it is paramount and also almost important that today we sensitize Nigerian students for across the nation to be fully involved in PVC registration. There's an advocacy for those who have complete registration to complete the registration. There's advocacy for those who have never registered before and are up to 18 to do so. That means that lost PVCs replaced. Those who have voted in Lagos, but because of studies, they are in Abuja, and they will be in Abuja during the 2027 general election. To transfer their voting point from Lagos, from Ibadan, from Enugu, from Lokoja, up to Abuja, so that they will participate. That is why Renewed Hope Ambassadors Youth and Development Network thought it wise to start this sensitization today. This is like a launch to start this national program through dialogue. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a keynote speaker. They may not sound like one. But in due time, the other programs of events will run out. Permit me to welcome every participant to today's event, and most especially to welcome the convener of this event. I call her Her Excellency because she's one. Someone who has put time, resources, energy, and synergy to ensure that this becomes a national dialogue. For her welcome address, please round of applause. Let's welcome Honorable Adewumi Adelanji for her welcome address.
Nigeria is no exception to that. Today, over 70% of Nigeria's population is made up of young people. This means that the future of our democracy citizenship. It is a symbol of responsibility. It is a symbol of power. It represents your right to choose, your right to be heard, and your right to influence the direction of our country. Every student who registers to vote and obtains a PVC takes a significant step from being a spectator to becoming a stakeholder in national development. Democracy is strongest when citizens participate actively. It thrives when young people engage thoughtfully and responsibly. It succeeds when citizens understand that leadership is not only about those who occupy public offices, but also about those who elect them. As students, you must begin to see yourself as leaders long before graduation. Leadership begins in the classroom. Leadership begins in service. Leadership begins in character. Leadership begins when you decide to take responsibility of your community and your nation. The future governors, legislators, ministers, diplomats, entrepreneurs, professors, innovators, and even presidents of Nigeria are seated in campuses across this nation today. The question is not whether Nigeria has future leaders. The question is whether those future leaders are preparing themselves today. And our objective through this dialogue is to therefore to encourage students to embrace civic responsibility, participate in continuous voter registration, collect their PVCs, and become active contributors to the democratic development of Nigeria. We want to build a generation that understands that democracy is not an event that occurs every 4 years. Democracy is a continuous process of participation, accountability, engagement, and service. We want to raise young people who will not merely criticize this system, but will possess the courage, competence, and commitment to improve it. We want to cultivate a generation a call to become responsible citizens, a call to become transformational leaders. And as we engage in today's discussion, I encourage every participant to listen attentively, ask questions, share ideas, and leave here with a renewed commitment to democratic participation and nation building. Bound by a common purpose, let this event mark the beginning of a new chapter. Largest party in Africa. God bless the Benin Ambassadors Youth and Women Network. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Please appreciate her for that. It is not easy to be patriotic. It is not easy to put things together to ensure that people participate in this democracy. Just like many of you here who are students are sitting down today as students. Someday you will stand like her and push for similar cause. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you're just walking in, the convener of this national dialogue, Honorable Aderumi Adetoloju, just presented her welcome address. One message I picked is, this is not just the gathering in a hall. It is a movement, which means we're taking the message to our different campuses as student leaders, champions of democracy. Anyone who is here present today, just be rest assured that Renewed Hope, Youth Ambassadors and Women Network is in the right direction to ensure mass participation in 2027 general election. It is about leadership. It is about democracy. It is about national development. Once again, let's appreciate our national convener. It will interest you to know that our Grand Matron and keynote speaker for today, Honorable Oloremi Oluwalabon, has ensured that this program is a huge success. We cannot count today without counting her efforts. Please, let's still appreciate her once again, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to goodwill messages. We are going to be receiving goodwill messages from our dignitaries, from selected participants. So I myself will point at the participants. Please prepare your mind. If I point, you would come over and give your goodwill message. That is to make it more interactive. What are we doing today? We are sitting down today in Abuja with student leaders drawn from different higher institutions in Nigeria to discuss why it is important to be a registered voter if you are up to age. Because of that, you cannot push this message forward if we do not x-ray the importance of student leadership. Why it's good to be a leader, from your lecture hall to your hostels to your campus fellowship and campus mosques, down to the polling units closest to you. It is so important not just to educate them to register, also educate those who are already registered to move their voter point, their polling unit, to the safest and closest polling unit close to them. That is why we are sitting today to dialogue through Renewed Hope Campus Dialogue, being championed by the convener and her team. In case you were not here when we started, my name is Igwe Ubonaya. Please appreciate me once again. It will be a singular honor to welcome our big mommy and the super grand matron of this network to approach the podium to deliver her goodwill message. Please, with a round of applause, let's welcome our grand patron, Honorable Oloremi Odunsi Oluwalobon. Please appreciate her, please. She's a mother. She's a mentor.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I have someone in the room that I hope that by the time he comes up, we will know that Nigeria is set to change. So before I go into my goodwill message or keynote, which I don't actually do very well reading, so I'm going to be very interactive. I just want to admire your tenacity, Honorable Adefolajo. This is indeed a good one because it's going to be very impactful. I'd like to recognize the presence of a dear friend, a trailblazer. I was listening to his introduction. They missed out the fact that he was an astute banker And I think that is deliberate. He doesn't want you to bill him. Dr. Obir, it's so good to sit beside you today. And I'm going to also recognize the presence of our dear mom, sitting next to Honorable. Good morning, ma. You're welcome. Before I go into my speech, I want to say something. This morning, when I was getting ready, and this is not planned, but I think this is a national event, and as such, we are in the day where I think news travel fast, and I think they say bad news travel faster. I've had the opportunity to speak. Last week, I was at the University of Abuja speaking to students there on swearing, and I've had one or two people mention to me that, oh, we've been having all these events and nobody's talking about what is going on in the country, especially with the children that had been, taken from Oyo State. And I would like to actually touch on that today because I think it's important. As a mother, we have mothers in the house. And even the convener, she has a 2-year-old. So when we see things like that, but what do we do? What do you do in a situation like this? And we have to have these conversations. We shouldn't just gather, and just gloss over things. And the truth of the matter is, I ask myself that question every day. I'm sorry if I'm taking this out of context, but I think it is very important. Because for some people like me, we've been living in that reality for a while. And I told the person, at the University of Abuja, I said, in 2019, we had a conference in Jos. And in that conference, we wanted to just have a normal conference. We ended up having a children's conference. And by the end of the first day, we had over 2,000 children that were brought from various IDP camps. We didn't ask for them. They were just dropping them at our. So people have been going through this for a very long time. I have been processing this for a very long time. It's something I wake up in the morning and sometimes I actually cry. So when you see me dance, it's not because that dance is actually to say, God, do something about this situation. So what I'm asking you today is that, what are you doing? You say you are praying, so we can all pray. That's one thing we can do. But when we stand and we gather at functions like this, it's not because we are not emotional about what is going on. But I'm calling everyone to do your bit. If you want to pray, pray. What you know to do best, do best. I did a sample in that conference. I asked the children there, if you have one parent, raise up your hand. Maybe about 20%. The truth of the matter, at that time, was that I think over 70% of the children there didn't have any parents. So the situation is being really, really rough. 2019 I'm talking about. So I thought to mention this because it looks as if we don't care. We do care. We're doing all we can in our little ways. So I'm just going to ask us, I believe in prayer. So I'm going to ask us to pray. We just want to comfort the families and also the children. I believe strongly in the ministration of angels. Where you cannot reach, where you can't be, your people can take care of your children. When I talk about angels, I don't necessarily mean, supernatural beings. I mean, people that come as angels. So can we just spend 1 minute praying before I go into my keynote speech today? Father, we thank you because in all things we say we should give thanks. And so, Father, we pray for all these children today, that solely you be their comfort. You send help to them. You even touch the heart of the people that are holding them ransom. And for the parents, oh Lord, you are the one that gives courage. You will give them courage. You will comfort them. You will be with them. You sustain them. And for this country, Lord, we know we have hope. Our hope is being renewed every day through strength, through you, God. And we ask, oh Lord, that even this situation will be something that we'll use in the future. And somehow, your name will be glorified. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you all very much. I just had to get that out of my mind so that we can go into the business of today. So we're talking to students and we're talking about PVC. So last week, I think it was last week, I took to the streets of Abuja and I wanted to know if people had PVC. We're talking PVC now. Of course, you can see my cap, I'm APC. Yes? But we're talking PVC. So what I'm trying to say to you is that office of the citizen, you owning a voter's card, it is not negotiable. My son is going to be 18 on the 1st of July. I'm dragging him to go and register. You have to. It is a responsibility you cannot run away from. And I'm happy that we're talking to students today. So I'm going to ask one question. Can anyone here, if you are from a university, please, can I have a show of hand? Please, can you come forward? Sorry. He said, yes. Good morning. Your name and your university?
Okay, I'm Okibe Matthew. I'm from University of Abuja.
Yeah, I was in your university last week for the first time. Very nice campus. Do you have a PVC?
Yes, I do, ma.
The other thing I want to ask you before I go into my speech, because I'm going to touch on that. When you guys gather in school these days, what do you discuss?
State of the initiative. Okay. When we gather in school, most of the time, most people now currently, the student body, they're talking about NEL fund. Then after that, the state of the nation. And how, let's say, cost of transportation and things like that. But apart from that, we just talk about lectures and all that stuff.
Please give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. I love the first thing he said. He said we discuss about NEL fund. And I'm happy that he said that because I think it's getting better. A lot of people didn't register, but from what he said now, they are discussing it too. And they are also discussing about the state of the nation. So I'm going to go into my speech now. Good morning, everyone. As I prepared for today, my mind went back to my days at the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University. University was where many of us first learned to think beyond ourselves. We debated ideas. We discussed leadership. We argued about the future of Nigeria. I hope you're still arguing. And we dreamt of the lives that we wanted to build. Looking back, I sometimes wonder if my generation paid enough attention to what happened after we left the campus gates. Because one lesson life has taught me is this: if good people do not participate, other people will make the decisions for them. That is why I have a simple message for every student here today. Get your PVC. Not because you want to become a politician, not because you support one party or the other, but because, as I said, you are a citizen, and you are a responsible citizen at that. Your PVC, like the convener said, is more than a voting card. It is your voice. It is your seat at the table. It is your way of saying, I care about the future of Nigeria. I care about the future of this country. I care about what is even happening in Africa. One thing I always say to myself, if the government should say, we want to sponsor people for Geneva conference, and it's only going to be through your PVC, I can guarantee you a lot of people will go and register. So think about it today, that it is your responsibility to have your PVC. So do not be different. I want you to register, get your PVC, vote when the time comes, ask questions, hold leaders accountable, contribute positively to your community. The future of Nigeria will not be built by the government alone. It will be built by citizens who choose participation over apathy. My generation, as I always say, we dropped the ball. when we were called to come into polity, a lot of us felt that we had greener pastures. So we have done some things right and we made some mistakes. My prayer is that your generation will do better, so that years from now, you'll be able to say, we did not sit at the sidelines. I hope you are not going to sit at the sidelines. You are going to participate. You are going to contribute, because we all need to help Nigeria be better. We all need to help Nigeria to build this country in a way that even the generations to come will be proud of us. So thank you all very much. Thank you, our convener once again. Dr. Obril, thank you for making time to be here, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Please appreciate our mommy once again. Appreciate her. That is the grand matron of this movement. We have the presence of our mother, Honorable Hadiza Ajoke Shoaibu. She is the Assistant Woman Leader, Kabusa Ward APC, and City Boy Movement Woman Leader for Kabusa Ward. Please appreciate her presence. She was here early. She sat very calm and calculated. Mommy, you're welcome. You're welcome. We also have Dr. Peter Oladele Olashunkami. He is the CEO, Blue Tile Media Technology, and founder, Blue Tile TV. He's here with his team. Please appreciate their presence, please. We also have in our midst the Managing Director of CJAN, Corpus Journal Advocacy of Nigeria. Please appreciate his presence. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. The next on our list for the next on our list for the goodwill message is one of the persons who I respect so much in the terms of advancing the cause for a better democracy. He's a father, he's a mentor, and currently serving as the Director General, the Nigerian Thought Project. Let's make welcome Dr. Otiakbo Obire, PhD, for his goodwill message. Please appreciate him. He's a scholar by excellence. He's a mentor, a leader, someone who has built his time around advancing a better Nigeria. You're welcome, sir.
Moving from place to place, from place to place, spreading my word out.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The weather has been so wonderful today. I know deeply that if not for the rains, this hall would have been much occupied than it is at the moment. But it is what it is, and the program must go on. I got this invitation at a very short notice, but whatever will bring progress to our nation is very, very paramount and in a matter of interest to me. So I have to make sure that I honor this invitation. So we are not going to take too much time on this, but I'm going to address our young leaders coming up. They say the youths are the leaders of tomorrow, but the tomorrow never comes. It's something that keeps moving ahead. You don't get to it. So, but then, I would say the leadership starts from today and not tomorrow. So once again, I welcome you all to this event. And the theme of today's event is Raising Leaders Today. Students are the heart of Nigerians' future and the Renew Hope agenda, which simply means we'll be addressing the young generation, preparing them for the task ahead, because Nigeria is a very complex state. It is not easy to govern, but you need that composure, that focus, that boldness to become a leader of a country that is as complex as Nigeria, because there is nothing you will do that people will not find fault in. Whether it is good, whether it is bad, there must be opposition somewhere to whatever you're doing. So it is with my great pleasure and profound sense of responsibility that I extend my goodwill to the organizers of this important National Students Dialogue. Distinguished guests, development partners, youth leaders, members of the academic community, and the vibrant Nigerian students gathered here today. I commend the organizers for their vision in convening this timely conversation around a theme that speaks directly to the destiny of our nation. Raising leaders today. Students at the heart of Nigerians' future and the Renewed Hope agenda. The future of every nation is determined not by its natural resources, but by the quality of leadership it nurtures and the character of its young people. Nigerians' greatest asset is not beneath the ground. It is the energy, creativity, resilience, and aspirations of millions of young Nigerians whose talents, if properly developed, can transform our nation and position it among the leading economies of the world. Throughout my professional journey, spanning over 3 decades in finance, investment, management, entrepreneurship, energy development, strategic consulting, and public policy, I have come to one enduring conclusion: nations rise when they deliberately invest in leadership development and empower their young people to become active participants in shaping their future. Today, Nigeria stands at a defining moment. We face significant challenges, but we also possess unprecedented opportunities. The choices we make now is in governance, education, economic development, civic engagement, innovations, and leadership will determine the kind of nation we hand over to future generations. This is why students must never see themselves as merely as beneficiaries of national development. You are stakeholders. You are contributors. You are partners in the Nigerian project. The classroom is not simply a place for acquiring certificates. It is a training ground for leadership, innovation, critical thinking, and service. The value you cultivate today, discipline, integrity, competence, patriotism, excellence, and responsibility will define the leaders you become tomorrow. Though we said tomorrow will never come. I therefore encourage every student here to embrace civic responsibility and democratic participation. Obtain your permanent voter's card. Understand public issues. Participate constructively in national conversations. Hold leaders accountable through lawful and democratic means. Democracy flourishes when citizens are informed, engaged, and committed to the common good. The Renewed Hope Agenda presents an opportunity for collective national renewal. However, no national agenda can succeed without active involvement of citizens, especially young people. Government alone cannot build a Nigerian we desire. Sustainable development requires partnerships among government, the private sector, civil society, educational institutions, and the youth. As Director General of the Nigerian Thought Project, our mission has consistently been to promote national dialogue, policy innovations, citizens' engagement, and governance reforms that advance peace, prosperity, and inclusive development. Likewise, through our flagship journal, Letters to Nigerian Leaders, TNTP tends to build a strong and united community that can collectively amplify the voices, the needs, the concerns, and aspirations of the Nigerian people. You may join the conversation at TNTP National Forum platforms on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter. Our commitment is rooted in a simple belief: Africa's future will be determined by the quality of leaders we raise today. I challenge every student listening to me today to think beyond personal success, aspire to become problem solvers, aspire to create jobs than merely seeking jobs, aspire to build institutions rather than depending on them, aspire to lead with integrity rather than pursue power for its own sake. Nigeria needs young leaders who can bridge divisions, who can bridge divides, promote national, who can bridge the divides, promote national unity, embrace diversity, encourage innovation, and place the national interest above personal gain. This is very, very vital and very, very important. Today, we see our youths sojourning, looking for greener pasture. The truth is, there's no greener pasture anywhere. You have to make the pasture of wherever you are green. If you are looking for a greener pasture, that greener pasture you're looking for, someone has worked on it to make it green to attract you. So when I see our youths on comment sessions on social media, I weep for the future, because every youth mostly are looking for the easy way out. There is no easy way out. There is no easy way out. You must think out of the box. You must look at your situation. Every situation you find yourself, if you think out of the box, there's a solution sitting with you. But when you don't think, those solutions are far, far away from you. So the nation must be the first thing in your mind. You are a Nigerian. You have the opportunity to travel around the world, but you cannot stay there forever. Nigeria remain your ground, and you will still come back to Nigeria. The question you should ask yourself as a young person, when you return, when you are tired of outside, which Nigeria are you returning to? So we must make our nation firm, and our young people should cultivate the habit of promoting Nigeria than degrading Nigeria. Because whatever you put out there, in this social media age, the whole world is saying it. When you promote your country, the whole world is saying it. When you talk down on your country, the whole world is saying it. No matter what happens, Nigerian youth must stand up for the nation, must stand to defend Nigeria. Even a lawyer that goes to court to defend an armed robber, a criminal, they still defend a criminal to see how they can free that person. It doesn't mean that the person didn't commit the crime, but the lawyer still defend the criminal. So Nigeria is the only country we have. We must defend it with all our might. We must paint Nigeria good everywhere we go. Every little comment you make about Nigeria counts for you, because I've had situations where the people complain that I secured a visa, I bought my ticket, I traveled to so-so country, but I was refused entrance at the border. Why were you refused entrance? It's because of the way you have painted your country. So as you come in, they look at you with that same mindset that you have put in their mind. No matter how bad the South African, just South Africa here, no matter how bad their government is, you will never see a South African child or youth condemning South Africa. You will never see them condemning their leaders on social media. All you see them doing is, you people came to our country to take our jobs. They have failed to understand that it is the same people, the same leaders, both in private and public sector in South Africa, are the ones that made them not to have those jobs. But they see you that come in as a stranger, as the one coming to take the job, as if you force